All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Sorry we're starting a bit late today. Had just a little technical problem on my end. Just my computer was being extremely slow, and it took a few minutes to get everything loaded up. So apologies for that, but here we are. This is our 6 to 7 webinar. And as you can see today from the title, we are speaking today about music. Okay, because, I just thought, well, here it is. It's Friday. So why not have a conversation about music? Maybe this weekend you are having a little, a kind of little private apartment party. Maybe you're listening to music when you cook, for example. I know lots of us are cooking at the moment. So we're going to get right into that. But before that, let me first introduce myself. If any of you don't know me, my name is Liam. I am 30 years old, okay, and I come from Manchester in the United Kingdom. Okay, so that's me, and I would love it if you guys would also introduce yourselves. And I see that already we have Katerina. Hello, Katerina. Katerina says, I'm from Livorno, not so far from Pisa. It takes 20 to 30 minutes by car. Very nice, Katerina. Well, it's very nice to have you with us today. Katerina, do you mean it takes 20 to 30 minutes to get from Livorno to Pisa? Is that what you mean? Just to be clear, okay, about what you mean by it takes. So again, guys, introduce yourselves. Tell us where you are. Tell us where you're from. And if you're also from other countries. I know we have students from Spain and from Italy as well. So it's great to have you guys with us today. All right. So as I said, today we are speaking about music. Okay. And our objectives for this is talking about music, songs, artists, and types of music, and how does music make you feel? So we're going to be looking at some vocabulary related to music, talking about different, as we said, different genres, artists, etc. But we're also talking about the effect that music has on us. And we've got someone else joining us. Hello, I'm Marina. I'm 24 years old and I live in Bari. Welcome, Marina. Very nice to have you with us today. Before we begin, guys, in English, if you want to use the verb talking related to discussion, okay, we use the preposition is always about. Talking about, and then you talk about the subject of discussion. For example, you might say in English, today we are talking about music, food, art, wine, football, etc. And that's the same for the verb talk. If you say, I want to talk about music, for example, in both cases, the preposition is about. Talking about music, talk about music. All right. Songs, artists, and types. So in English, the word artist in the musical context refers to, it can be a singer or a songwriter. But usually it just means someone who performs. So someone who sings, usually. It can be the singer or the songwriter. That's the name of the person who writes the music. And as for the final point, how does music make you feel? How does music make you feel? Well, that's related to our emotions and our reactions. That's the verb we use, make. So, for example, if you say, maybe, for example, hot weather makes me feel happy, for example. It's the phrase there, makes me feel, etc. It makes me feel happy, makes me feel sad. Basically, it's makes plus the subject plus the adjective. Makes me feel happy, makes him feel happy, makes her feel sad, etc. Okay, guys, again to say, if you have any questions at any time about this lesson, just write them in the comment section. Okay, I will see them and I will try and respond to them. And I know that sometimes there are connection problems and it takes a moment for your questions to arrive. Don't worry, they will definitely arrive. All right, so let's begin with these questions. We've got 3 questions on the screen. And again, guys, we want you to, answer these questions as well. Please feel free to join the conversation and answer the questions, because it's a really good opportunity for you as well. Okay, and we can get some interaction here. So the first question is, what is your favorite type of music? Type can be a synonym of the words genre, which is the French word, but we use it in English. Genre, that's that French pronunciation. So type can be genre, or it can be kind, and always with the preposition of. So my favorite type of music, kind of music, genre of music. So maybe, first of all, guys, I can ask you, I want you to tell me, what are some types of music we know in English? Because I can show you some, but I'd like you to answer me, you the viewers, you the students. What are some types of music we know in English? And you can write your answers here. Here, Katerina says, it depends on my mood, but in general, I don't have a particular type of music which I hate. However, I prefer pop and rock music. Very good. Ariana says, my favorite type. So Ariana, remember the preposition, which we highlighted here, type of. So Ariana says, my favorite type of music is Italian pop music. Very good. All right. Thank you, Ariana and Katerina, for your answers. Anybody else who wants to answer, please do. Again, though, guys, can you tell me some genres of English? So Katerina and Ariana have given us pop and rock. Okay, those are 2 types of music, pop and rock, but I think we definitely know more. Can you think of any others? And Ariana says again, my favorite kind of music is rock or pop, depend of singer. All right, Ariana, very good. But what we say in English, the construction is it depends on the singer. In English, the preposition for depend is on. And we always say the subject, it. It depends on the singer. Okay, it depends on the singer. Again, guys, I'll just give you a moment. Maybe you're writing and the answers are about to arrive. So what are some types of music that you know? I'll just wait a moment and let you guys answer. Okay, so again, I know the answers are probably going to arrive in a moment. Okay, Katerina says, let's have a look here. Katerina says, I like Bob Dylan, Coldplay, and U2. Last year I went to, you can just say, Katerina, a concert. You can just say in English, a Coldplay concert. You don't need to say, so if you say concerto di Coldplay, it's like Italian, okay? In English, we would just say, I went to a Coldplay concert, or you could say, I went to see Coldplay. You could say even, I went to see Coldplay. Very good. Ariana's got metal, reggaeton. Yeah, that's a quite a new form of music, I think. Katerina says, I like Bob Dylan. Katerina, me too. I love Bob Dylan. Let's see. Maria says, I like listening. Okay, so again, guys, don't forget our prepositions, Marina. I like, if you say, I like listening to. You say, I like listening to Mika and Lady Gaga. All right, very good. Mika and Lady Gaga. Yeah, I think Mika is Italian, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not sure. Maybe someone can correct me. So again, guys, what we have here are some examples of music. You can see them on the screen. So we've got country, hip hop, classical, jazz, rock, blues, pop, oldies, and electronic. So my question for you guys is, do you know all of these types of music or not? Are some of these genres or types of music that you do not know? Okay, we've got a list of 9 here. Country, hip hop, classical, jazz, rock, blues, pop, oldies, electronic. So just tell me if you know any of these genres. If you do not know any of these genres, let me know. All right, let me know, and I will explain them to you. I'll give you a moment and then I'll explain them. Okay, now I think the only one that maybe isn't familiar is this one, oldies. Can anyone tell me what they think oldies refers to? What type of music do you think that is? Oldies. Who can tell me what they think that is? I think the rest of them we know. And just while I wait and see if anyone can tell me, I can tell you that my favorite types of music of these, I love country music, I love classical music, rock, blues, and I quite like jazz as well. So Ariana, you're saying which is oldies? I think you mean what is. Ariana, do you mean what is, like cos'è? Okay, just be careful with our question words. Do you mean what is oldies, or are you asking which one is oldies? Because they are actually 2 different questions in English. Okay. I'm not sure if people know. Maybe it's taken a while. Basically, oldies is, we would think of oldies as music that was popular. What we can say, music that was popular just before, during, and after what we say the Second World War. So we could say that could be a definition of oldies. So a classic example of oldies would maybe be Frank Sinatra. He would probably be a good definition of oldies. I've got another response from Katerina. I played the piano since I was a child. At the same time, my older sister played the guitar, and so we projected some little concerts in our living room where our family simulated the audience. Oh, that's very sweet, Katerina. Very good. And very good answer. Although we wouldn't say in English projected. In English, we would say put on, or you could just say did concerts in our living room. But that's very cool that so you and your sister were in a little band, I guess we could say, or you were a duet, we could say in English. You guys were a duet. Very nice. That's fantastic, Katerina. Right, guys. Second question. Is there any music you can't stand? Now, some of you who've studied about phrases of emotions, do you remember what does it mean in English if a person says that you can't stand something? What does it mean if you can't stand something? And just while we say, Katerina, I enjoy playing jazz and blues music, but I started with classical music. Right. So you've got experience of different genres, Katerina. Very good. But I just want to go back to this question. What do we mean in English when we say that we can't stand something? Can someone tell me what that means? Very good, Katerina. That's right. It means that you hate. Correct. Okay. So, for example, if I was answering, I would say, I can't stand electronic music. Okay, that would be an answer for me. And the answer, why don't I like it? Well, because it's too artificial for me. It's all created on a computer. So it doesn't really, to me, feel like music that, is written. It feels very artificial and I would say robotic. So that would be my answer. I would say I can't stand electronic music because it's too artificial and robotic. Guys, what about you? I can see that I have 8 viewers. We have 8 people joining this conversation today. So I'm sure that some of you can answer this question as well. Very good. Ariana says, I can't stand metal music. Very good, Ariana. Ariana, can you tell me why? Okay, Ariana, why can't you stand metal music? Okay, again, I'll give you a moment, guys. I know it takes a moment sometimes for people to respond, but just think, I'd love to see your answers to this second question. Question 2, is there any music you can't stand, and tell me why? I will give you a minute before maybe we move on to the third question. Okay, and Ariane says, because it's very strong and makes me annoyed. Ah, okay. So Ariana, this is a little false friend because I think you mean in Italian like forte. But in English, if you say strong, that's often a positive adjective for us. What we would say in English, Ariana, if you want to say that, would be heavy. You would say it's very heavy, and so it annoys me. So that sentence, because it's too heavy, like this. All right, Ariana, this is, I understand exactly what you want to say, but just a way to say it in a more natural way would be like this. It's too heavy and it annoys me. And then Katerina says, I can't stand metal and electronic music because they're so artificial and too heavy. Very good, Katerina. Thank you. Very good. Thank you, Katerina. Oh, sorry. This comment just came through from Stephanie. I hate metal music, me too, because it is too aggressive. Very good, Stephanie. Yeah, aggressive is a good way to describe it. Although, Stephanie, if you say I, you don't then say me, because that's repetition. You would just say, I hate metal music too. All right. Otherwise, if you say I and me together, then that would be repetition. So you can just say like this: I hate metal music too. Okay. And the final question, guys, have you ever tried to play an instrument? Which one? So I took, that's the phrasal, that's the verb we use in English. We say, I took, or you can also say I did, but I took is better. Piano lessons when I was a teenager, but I never, this is my fault, I never practiced. So, unlike, for example, Katerina, who I am sure practiced a lot, I never practiced. Okay, so I took piano lessons or I did piano lessons when I was a teenager, but I never practiced. So, again, guys, any of you, have you ever tried to play an instrument? And if so, please tell us which one. Have you ever tried to play an instrument? What was the instrument? Were you good at the instrument? Please let us know. Ariana, good. Thank you, guys. Ariana says, when I was a child, remember the article, Ariana, sorry, we have to say a. When I was a child, I played the flute at school. Very good. When I was a child, I played the flute. And Stephanie says, when I was, again, the same thing, when I was a teenager, I played the piano. Very good. And Mariana says, when I was a child, very good. Very good, Marina. When I was a child, I tried, that's good, I tried to play the violin. Yes, exactly. I think that's what I would say as well, Marina. I tried to play the piano. Okay, again, guys, we have a couple of questions that we want you to answer. First question, who is your favorite artist? And the second question then, have you ever seen him or her in concert? Just before we answer that, Katerina has another response. I've played the piano since I was a child. In fact, in this period, we can't go out and enjoy playing it. Playing the piano is an interesting and amazing way to spend my free time. Absolutely, Katerina. I am sure it must be very nice. It must be really relaxing and therapeutic to be able to play the piano at home. So that's really nice. So guys, I'll answer this one. So I would say my favorite artist, if I'm talking about a solo artist, that's what we mean in English. A solo artist is, I would say for me, is Bob Dylan, the American singer-songwriter, but I have never seen him in concert, unfortunately. I would like to. I would say my favorite group is the Rolling Stones, okay, who I saw at a concert in England in 2005. So guys, let me know about you. Okay, Ariana says, my favorite singer is Ligabue. Okay, so Ariana, remember using present perfect and past simple. Remember that, we can't do that together. If you say, I've been to Ligabue's concert, then you stop. If you say, when I was a teenager, that would be past simple. So you would say, either I've been to a Ligabue concert or I went to. Okay, I went to a Ligabue concert because when I was a teenager is a specific time. because you said when I was a teenager. Marina says, my favorite artist is Italian. He is, so we would say in English, his name is. His name is Vasco Rossi. His name is Vasco Rossi. I saw his concert only on TV. So, Marina, do you mean you've only seen one concert? Or do you mean that you've seen, so maybe you would say, I have only seen him on TV, because that can be multiple times. Maybe you'd say it like that. And let's see. Stephanie says, my favorite artist is Shakira. I love to, I think you mean hear and dancing her music. So if you say I love to, you would say maybe I love listening and dancing to her music, Stephanie. You would need to use, because usually after verbs such as love or like or hate, we use the ing form. So I love listening and dancing to her music. Okay, anybody else want to join as well? Yeah, it's no problem, Stephanie. It's just little things. Anybody else? And again, have you seen them in concert? While we think of that, we'll just move on to the next group of questions here. And these are two additional questions where we're asking you to think about how you feel. The third question is, what is your favorite song and how does it make you feel? And you see, in the responses, there are two ways to talk about it. If you say the first one, it makes me feel, then we add an adjective. So, for example, it makes me feel sad, for example. How, and the second one, it makes me want to, is with an infinitive verb. For example, it makes me want to dance. Okay, let's see. Katerina says, one of my favorite artists is Vasco Rossi. I saw him last summer. I love Bob Dylan too, but unfortunately, I've never seen him in a concert. The same problem as me, Katerina. I love Bob Dylan. Stephanie says, I have seen her concert 2 years ago. All right, Stephanie, good. But remember, we can't use, okay, present perfect. If we use present perfect does not use a specific time. So in English, I can say, for example, there are two ways. I saw her concert 2 years ago, past simple, because 2 years ago is a specific time. Or in English, we can say, I've seen her in concert. That is present perfect, so there is no specific time. Really, this is an important thing, guys, because those of you who are in level 7, okay, if you're in level 7 at the moment, moving from your level 7 lessons to your level 8 lessons, understanding that we use present perfect to speak in general about experiences and past simple with specific times is a really important part of moving from level 7 to level 8. Okay. So guys, again, I want to know, do you have, maybe it's not your, absolute ultimate favorite song. Maybe you can just give an example of a song that you really like and tell me how it makes you feel. All right. Okay, maybe again, I can give an example. So I can say one of, because one of can be a way to talk about one of many. One of my favorite songs is, I would say, let me think. I mean, I can think of a few. One of my favorite songs is Hello, Goodbye by the Beatles. And all right, that would be the first part. It makes me feel happy and it makes me want to dance. That would be my answer. Again, guys, I'll give you a moment. I know answers sometimes come through very quickly. So I'll give you a minute just to see. If nobody answers, if we're not sure, we'll move on to the next slide. But I'll just give you like 30 seconds to a minute for some other answers to come through. Katerina says, I love, so Katerina, in English, we actually refer to them as the Rolling Stones, right? If you actually refer to the Rolling Stones. I love the Rolling Stones too. I saw them 1 year ago, because 1 year, okay? Because it's one, it's not a multiple, Katerina. 1 year ago, Luca, and their songs make me feel thrilled. We wouldn't really say make me feel thrilled. We would maybe say make me feel excited would be better, because usually thrill is more active. So we would say maybe their songs thrill me. It's not usually something that they make me feel thrilled. Let's see. Ariana says, I love Orlando contra il cielo. It makes me happy and makes me want to dance. Excellent, Ariana. Very good answer. Thank you. Anybody else got another answer? Just again, we'll give it maybe another minute before we move to the next part. Okay. Okay, just give a few more seconds and then we'll move on. Don't worry, guys. I know that probably your answers are about to appear, but it's okay because we're getting a lot of good responses here as we come into the final 15 minutes of the activity. So I'll just give another 10 seconds before we move on. Okay, we'll continue. If you guys want to answer later on, that is absolutely fine. Now, this is a good exercise. Again, guys, this is, again, asking you, looking at these pictures on the right, it's asking you, how do they make you feel? And what do they make you want to do? So, for example, this picture of all of these cars in what we call a traffic jam. Okay, it's called a traffic jam. Okay, when many cars are moving slowly together. How does that photograph make you feel? And what does it make you want to do? Again, guys, I want you to answer these. I can give you an example. I can say, for example, this picture makes me, makes me feel anxious, okay? Because I can imagine going to work and feeling like I'm going to be late. So I would say this picture makes me feel anxious. What would you guys say about this picture? How does this picture make you feel? Let's see. Ariana says, it makes me feel annoyed and it makes me want to go on foot. Very good. And Marina says, it makes me feel bored. Very good. Yeah. So remember, guys, we need to also, just to be clear, annoyed, annoyed, and bored. Just to be clear on these two. Okay. Bored is the opposite of interested. All right, bored is the opposite of interested. Okay, whereas, okay, annoyed is a synonym of irritated. Katerina says, it makes me feel on edge. Very good, Katerina. That's right. It makes me feel on edge. Very good. On edge means, yes, tense or nervous or anxious. Stephanie says, it makes me feel boring. Remember, Stephanie, if we say it makes me feel, then we use the ed form of the adjective. So it makes me feel bored. We have to say, it makes me feel bored. So just again, guys, because I know sometimes this is confusing for Italians, the difference between annoyed and bored. As I said, bored as an adjective means the opposite of interested. Annoyed is a synonym of irritated. And Stephanie says, it makes me feel impatient. Very good, Stephanie. That's a good one. Yes. You say, it makes me feel impatient. Well done. Okay. Let's move on to another picture. How does this picture make you guys feel? Again, I'll wait a moment and let you answer. Ariana says, annoyed is a false friend. You're absolutely right, Ariana. Okay, that is correct. It is a false friend. Well done. Let's see. Katerina says, it makes me feel happy and thrilled. Very good. Katerina also makes me feel over the moon or on top of the world. Very good. Very, very positive phrases and adjectives, Katerina. Very nice. Anybody else want to talk about how this picture makes them feel? We've got about 10 minutes left, so I'll just give it maybe 20 or 30 seconds and then I'll move on to the next one because we have a few more pictures where we can talk about how we feel. Let's see. Ariana says, it makes me feel calm and happy. It makes me want to play in a green park. Also, I thought about spring with this picture. Very good, Ariana. That's a very nice answer. Thank you. We've got another picture now. All right, you can see this could be maybe in northern Italy or maybe France, Austria, Switzerland, or Germany. It's kind of that the Central European mountains. Let's see. Roberta, welcome, Roberta. Roberta says, it makes me feel free. Very good. Kendra says, the previous picture of traffic makes me feel upset too. And now speaking about this one, she says, it makes me feel freezing and cold. Well, Katerina, freezing and cold, they're synonymous. So in English, you would just say freezing cold. It makes me feel freezing cold. Marina says, it makes me feel quiet. Yes, absolutely. Quiet, relaxed, calm, very good. And Roberta says, it makes me want to. Ah, okay, Roberta. I think maybe this is autocorrect on your phone, possibly, or your computer. We would say, it makes me want to ski. Okay, ski, we would say. All right. Anybody else want to contribute to this one? Again, we've got a couple more. Ariana saying, it makes me feel on top of the world and it makes me want to stay in front of a fireplace drinking. Okay, Ariana, you don't need an article here. You could just say drinking hot chocolate and that would be fine. Drinking hot chocolate. Absolutely. I think a lot of people would respond like that. Absolutely. Katerina says, it makes me feel chilly and relaxed. Very good. Nice use of the word chilly. Excellent. We've got another picture here. How does this one make you feel? Again, guys, keep going. This is really good. It's very good practice for your vocabulary of adjectives and actions here. Okay. Anybody wants to talk about how this one makes them feel before maybe we move on? Because we've got a few minutes left. Okay, this is good. Okay, Roberta, thank you guys. Roberta says, it makes me feel calm and relaxed. Marina says, it makes me feel relaxed. And Marina, you can just say peaceful. You don't need to say in peaceful. All right, you can just say, it makes me feel peaceful. Katerina says, it makes me feel free and happy without thinking about problems. Very good. Ariana says, it makes me feel relaxed and it makes me want to read a book in front of the lake. Very good, Ariana. I agree. I would like to do that as well, especially now as we're under lockdown. Very true. Nicoletta says, it makes me feel, so again, that could just be an autocorrect, Nicoletta, but remember, it's double E. It makes me feel peaceful and it makes me want to daydream. Very nice. Very nice. Good responses, guys. Really good. All right, I think we just have a couple more. We've kind of got the opposite image here. How does this image make you feel? I think this one probably is going to be a more negative response for a lot of people. Let's see. Roberta says, it makes me feel angry. Yes, I understand that, Roberta. I think probably a lot of people feel angry at this image because I think it makes us feel angry when we look at this and we see the results of our actions on the world. Marina says, it makes me feel disgusted and angry. Very good. Very strong vocabulary, guys, but it's absolutely correct. So well done. All right. Are there any others? Because we are coming into the final few minutes. I'll just, again, wait 30 seconds before we move on to probably the final image before we do a recap. Okay, anybody else want to discuss? Okay, maybe we can just move on because I think we've got one final image here. How does this final image make you guys feel? Got one final image. Okay, we got two more from Katerina and Ariana about the previous one. It makes me feel upset and annoyed because of people who don't worry about pollution and waste. Very good. Let's see. It makes me feel low and angry. Okay, Ariana, I think that's probably an auto-correct. Maybe you could help that. It makes me feel and angry, and it makes me want to catch people who have left this. Okay, worst. I think you mean, Ariana, waste. Okay, waste. And no, Katerina, it's not. Your original answer was correct. It's don't worry about pollution. That is correct. Ariana, low, as in like sad or depressed. Okay, Ariana, yes, I understand. And Nicoletta says, it makes me feel disgusted. It makes me want to notify the situation. Okay, Nicoletta, we wouldn't say notify in English. We would say report the situation. In English, we would say report the situation. And Marina says, yeah, it makes me feel sad. Absolutely. Okay, guys, just a couple of minutes left. What about this final image? How does this make you feel? Let's see. Katerina says, it makes me feel free and without, Katerina, without thoughts, we would say. Without thoughts, because thinkings, that doesn't exist. Because thinking is a verb, it's not a noun, really. You can't use it as a countable noun, thinkings. You would just say thoughts. Nicoletta says, it makes me feel alone. Ariana says, it makes me feel sad and it makes me think, okay, Ariana, again, little thing, Ariana, makes me think of, all right? Makes me think of environmental problems. Makes me think of environmental problems. Okay, guys, I think we can start to come to the end here. I want to thank all of you for your really, really good contributions. You were all very active and responsive, and you all gave some fantastic answers and contributions. Your sentences were good, your grammar was good, your vocabulary was good. Very, very impressive. So I want to say thank you. I hope you are staying safe and well at home. Hopefully, we are seeing some light at the end of the tunnel, and maybe in the next month or two, maybe we can start to think about seeing each other again in the school. But for now, keep an eye on social media, especially on Facebook and Instagram, for other events in the future online. And have a great weekend. Thank you very much.